Okay, so far so good. And we're now,
Hello.
yep, so we're working fine. We have sound. Good evening, Giovanna.
Hello, Giovanna.
It's nice to see you here. And we'll start in a moment. We're all set and ready to go and stuff. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right, I'll edit that bit out because this is a serious undertaking. Right. Okay. Good evening and welcome to this special Wiltshire Business Club interview. And tonight I'm chatting with Angelika Davey. Good evening, Angelika.
Good evening, Stephen.
It's nice to see you again. And hopefully over the course of the next 20-30 minutes, we'll discover more about your business and about your involvement with the Wiltshire Business Club, and be joined by people who are watching us. We don't know who's here because not everybody has to log in. So let's make a start. How did you make the transition from being a primary school teacher to going into business on your own?
Well, I started as a primary school teacher, but found out pretty quickly that although I like working with little children, I don't necessarily like teaching subjects like art, PE, science, basically anything apart from languages. So I moved on to secondary schools, and there I found that I didn't really like teaching people or students who don't want to learn German.
Okay.
So it was quite easy to then jump to teach adults who choose to learn German and therefore are far better to teach. I also have children who choose to learn German. And again, that's different than teaching them at a secondary school.
Where they have to learn German.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yep. Okay. Now, you're just celebrating 10 years in business, but I just want to take you back sort of to the beginning. How did you actually get started and market yourself? What was it like 10 years ago? Because the internet wasn't here.
The internet was there. I didn't start that long ago without the internet. But, well, I knew how to teach, but I have to say I didn't know much about marketing. And online marketing was completely new to me. So I started off with actually one client and was absolutely over the moon that I had one client. I advertised the Yellow Pages, but that didn't really get me anybody else either. And then gradually I got to know about sites online. You remember Academy? That was the first business website I joined where I met people. And then came Facebook, Twitter, and of course the Wiltshire Business Club. And gradually I met people online and offline who were able to help me with sending me in the right direction of how to do online marketing.
Wonderful. How did you actually get involved with the Wiltshire Business Club?
I knew you would ask me that, and I've been racking my brains because I can't remember. I think some of the people actually I met on Academy as well. And then when Twitter came up and Facebook and the group actually materialized, I think I was a member from pretty early on, but I'm not sure.
Well, along with Dan, possibly
Dan,
around about the same
Roland,
time.
Phil,
Roland,
yeah.
Phil, yeah. Indeed. And it's a great resource to have there. Now, I want to come up to date, and you just released a new book. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I have. It's here. Germany in Poetry. And actually, I didn't do much writing. If you can see, although it says Angelika Davey, it also says and friends. It happened because I wanted to do something special for my 10-year anniversary. And I'd just done some work on poetry with some students, which they enjoyed very much. So I thought this would be a good idea. And I put it to all my students, and also some friends and supporters. Would they like to write a poem, either in English or in German, or a mixture if they wanted to? The topic had to be Germany or learning German or visiting Germany or anything like this. And 18 people, or shall I say 17 people, plus one more, because one of the poems is written by you as well, actually got back to me with a poem, or some of them even wrote more than one poem, which I then put together And this is it, a collection of poems in English and German, which is not free, but the little bit of profit that Amazon lets me have, because it's available on Amazon as Kindle and also as print, any profit goes to my charity of the year, which this year is the Wiltshire Air Ambulance. So at the end of the year, they will get some extra money from the book sales as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed writing the poem, and all your other students did as well. And
Yes.
It's great that it's now out in print and available as Amazon ebook. And but that's sort of not your first book, is it? What was your first book?
No, my first book was actually a German book, which is only available as a Kindle. The idea was to show the Germans how wonderful Wiltshire is. Something, again, that the Wiltshire Business Club would agree with as well. So it was an A to Z of Wiltshire. And we went from Avebury all the way to, I can't remember what I did for Z now. It was a lot of pictures and some text.
Right.
And because of the pictures, I can't have it in print because it would be too expensive. But it is there, it is in German. So even if anybody wants to read it and practice their German, of course they could do that as well.
Yeah. So did anybody who's in Germany wants to travel to Wiltshire and know more about Wiltshire?
Absolutely.
People, yeah.
They should buy that book.
Indeed.
I recommend it.
Totally agree. And it's also, if you're learning German, because if you're touring Wiltshire and you're learning German at the same time, you could combine the two, couldn't you?
Yeah, brilliant idea.
Yeah, indeed. So that's your first book, written in German, and then you went on to write your second book.
Yes, I never really intended to write any books, but my second book, which is also available in print, is Learn German for Your Holidays. And that started off as a 30-day email challenge. So I had some guinea pigs, so to speak, who tried out the email challenge, and together with them, we tweaked it a bit and sorted out things which didn't work very well. And I turned that into a book which also includes videos, so people can watch the video and practice the pronunciation of whichever topic is covered in those 30 days.
Right. Now, you just mentioned a very short phrase, turned into a book. It sounds simple when you say it like that, but it is a process, isn't it? You had to.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that process?
I want to?
Going from an
Yes.
idea to a draft and then actually publishing the book. What sort of route do you have to take?
I think my advantage was because it was an email challenge already. I'd written 30 emails, which I'd sent to the students at the time, one day, every day in June. So I just actually put those together as a book. And so literally as a Word document. I then read as much as I could about how to publish on Kindle, how to format Kindle books, how to make it look good. I also did my own front cover, which a photograph for the photograph that I'd taken in Germany, and then tried to fiddle about with how to make the cover. It involved a lot of screaming and shouting and cups of teas and cups of coffees and frustration. But finally, I actually did get it on Amazon as a Kindle and later on as a printed version.
So that was a sense of achievement doing all that.
Yes, it definitely was.
Yeah, and that was your first German tuition book. Why did you, let's go back a little bit, why did you actually choose German as a subject to teach people?
Because German is the best language. Yeah. Well, and I'm not biased at all. It's got nothing to do with the fact that I was born in Germany, raised in Germany, and that I am German. German is just a brilliant language. And actually, as a child, I once had this idea of I wanted to teach the whole world German. I haven't quite achieved that yet, but I haven't finished yet either.
Right. Okay. Now, in addition to the books, you also tutor people personally.
Yes.
Now, who can learn German?
Anybody. Well,
Right.
anybody who wants to learn German.
Right. So you've got to have the desire to learn the language, a reason for doing it.
Yes. I think, well, the reasons are different. I mean, most of my students either learn German because they have friends and family in Germany, or there is a business reason, or sometimes even holidays. I have had the odd one or two students who just like the language and never been to Germany, but they still liked it. So it's possible.
And what sort
It's
of
not the reason is the reason really has to be I want to learn German for whatever reason.
And what sort of age range?
Oh, anything. So far, my youngest student was 3. You can imagine that was mainly action songs and very basic counting and colors and things like this. The oldest student so far was 80.
Wow.
It's a great variety, which is so much better than when you're teaching at a school and you all have a class of 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds. So I have different students and different lessons every day.
And you teach from home and in centres around Wiltshire?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Do you want to expand on that a bit about the evening groups?
Well, I've got one where you are a student.
Yes, that's true.
Which is a small group. Most of them have been with me for a long time. They started off as beginners. We're now working past GCSE. No exams, but it is sort of A-level stuff. I have a lot of private students, sometimes couples who learn German together. I have some business clients where I go to business premises. I teach some children. I've got an after-school club at a primary school. I also have Skype students, those who are not in Wiltshire but still want to learn German.
So people can contact you via email and arrange courses?
Yes, they can do that.
Right. Now, one of the ways that you actually attract business is via your website. And I'm just going to, hopefully, if you just give me a moment, I'm going to take the link for your website and paste it into here and then just bring it on the screen, because I want to talk just for a moment about your blog. And I'm going to screen share, and that means that we will see your website on the screen and our picture stream, hopefully. Okay. Now, how do you start blogging? How did that begin?
Oh, do you know, I can't remember that either. That was about
5
years ago, I think. I think 6 years ago. There was some other website which I can't even remember what it was called now. Oh, BT Trade Space, I think. Is that the one?
It is. Yeah.
And everybody was said you had to blog, and I thought, oh, I don't know. So I think I managed one a month for about 3 months. But then if people said, if I went to any workshops and somebody said, who blogs, I put my hand up because I'd written 3. But that wasn't really much. And then I joined a 30-day blogging challenge. I've done about 3 of them since then, where you get instructions or ideas of what to write. And that was a good way to get into the habit. And then gradually I realized what I do like writing. So a lot of my blog posts are either reviews of websites where you can find, or German websites where you can learn German for free. There are so many online resources that people can use for free nowadays. So I look at them, and if I like them, I write about them. I have done some grammar lessons myself as well, or just generally things about Germany or learning German.
And that you've been doing blogging for 5 years regularly. And what are the benefits of doing that? Well,
for starters, it gets you traffic to your website, but also I have received clients through it. I've on various occasions, people have approached me. They wanted German lessons because they just read my latest blog post.
Indeed. And what sort of traffic are you getting to the blog at the moment?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, you did mention earlier that you're getting over 40,000 visits
That was this month that I've been very lucky that one of my tweets on Twitter had been retweeted by Deutsche Welle, which has got a huge following, and they all very quickly went onto my website, which was really nice.
Well, it's getting known, isn't it? I mean,
Yes.
you've built a resource which people can refer to.
Absolutely. I mean, all those blog posts about free online resources I've actually put together as a free PDF.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's about over 100 websites that people can have a look at if they wanted to learn some German. Obviously not all for beginners. So there's a variety of beginners websites and things for advanced people as well. And anybody who subscribes to my newsletter will get this PDF for free.
Right. So subscribers are important.
Yes. I want people to read my blogs.
But indeed. But building a subscription list is an art, and it takes time, doesn't it?
It does. Yes. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen overnight.
Right. Now, what do you enjoy about blogging?
Oh, good question.
Okay.
It's actually interesting because I a couple of years ago I was asked by a publisher, was I interested in writing a German GCSE book or co-writing a German GCSE book, and I said, oh no, God forbid, I don't want to do that. I don't know anything about writing, and no. I'm happy to proofread if you want me to, but I won't write it. And writing the blog post has actually made me realize that I do like writing. And I think it's because it was not something I had to do for a living. Yeah, I know nobody said, please write this for me and I'll pay you. And I find great enjoyment in writing those posts. And if they then get read and people share them, that's even better.
Indeed. Now, liking writing and liking German led you to Udemy.
Yes, it's actually started with this 30-day email challenge. This is what a lot of it, the beginning of a lot. As I said, the email challenge also had videos. Not the best quality at the time, but there were videos with it. So if people read in the email challenge how to introduce themselves, I then supplied them with a video where they could hear me speak, because that's one of the biggest problems when you're teaching yourself, that if you're reading it in the book, you don't actually know if you're pronouncing it right. And then I heard about online courses. And so I updated my videos and put them on Udemy as a beginner's course, a pure video online course. And since then I have done some grammar courses as well. This is one thing I've noticed, that gradually there are not so many people anymore who want to commit themselves to weekly lessons or regular lessons. They don't want to go to evening classes, but they want to learn German, and they want to do it in their own time.
At their own pace.
At their own pace, and ideally in little snippets of 5 minutes, because after 5 minutes they've had enough. So online courses are brilliant for that, because you can watch as little or as much as you like, and you can do it in your own time, which also means, as I said in the beginning, I wanted the whole world to learn German. It means I can now reach people where even with Skype, lessons would be difficult because of the time difference.
Indeed, because we Australia would be impossible, wouldn't it? And the
not impossible, but difficult.
Right. Okay. But Udemy makes it possible,
yes.
Because you can share your content globally, and what hits me is that you actually enjoy putting the courses together.
Yes, I do. It takes a lot of planning, and I seem to dither about it for a long time, and I don't know, oh, is this right? But then when it's actually taking shape and I put it together, I do like it.
Yeah, and just paste a link. Just give me a moment. I should be back momentarily. And so your Udemy courses, and then the main course is chargeable, isn't it? But a lot of courses are free. But can you explain?
Yes, well, Udemy has got a lot of, obviously not just German, people can learn all sorts of things. And there are a lot of courses which you have to pay for, and there are free courses. I have a free one. There we are. I have a free one, which is the alphabet one. Where is it gone? Oh, top right there. The German alphabet, which is just a course about learning how to say the alphabet and things like spelling your name or listen when other people spell things to you in German. And I've got that one for free as well, whereas my other courses are paid. On the screen is one more course which is free, which is Women Helping Women to Succeed. That is actually a course I've done together with a group of women. We've all taken 2 or 3 lectures from various of our own courses to put them together as one big course, which people can try out as a taster session. And there's anything in there from how to write a book and publish it on Kindle, to how to stop procrastinating, how to bake with sourdough, and I can't remember. There's lots of things in there. And it's free, and if people enjoy things in there, they can then look at the individual tutors and see if there's anything they would like to learn in more detail.
Yeah, I mean, the help procrastinating one applies to men as well. I could do
Oh,
that.
absolutely. I know it says Women Helping Women, but I think there's quite a few men have joined as well.
Right, okay. Now, you've got, on your German alphabet course, I can see you've had 184 people say they love the course.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
It's quite good for a free course. Often people don't bother leaving review for a free course, but it seems to have hit a nerve. So a lot of people saying they really like it, which is great for me.
Are there any courses in the works? Any upcoming courses?
Yeah, I have started working on 2. One is about numbers, anything to do with numbers, from counting from 1 to 10 to the bigger numbers, and anything number related. So times, currency, and whatever else comes there. And I have started doing some tenses courses. I've done one on the present tense, I've done one on the past tense, so the next one now will be the future tense.
I look forward to seeing that one.
Yeah, will be in the future.
Indeed it will. Now, in between writing the Udemy courses, you've authored more books as well. And just give me a second to tee this up. Excuse me a moment. I'll edit that bit out, don't worry about it. Okay. Right, so we've talked about the poetry book, which 18 students contributed to. And that we also talked about the Learn German for Your Holidays. But the 2 of the books, the attest of Learning German. Now, that's an interesting book. I enjoyed reading that one because it's not necessarily about learning German, is it?
It comes with a list of websites, and in that respect it is about learning German, but the ideas themselves are usable for any language really. So there are, I mean, it says 26 ideas, because it's A to Z, to make learning German more exciting and fun, because often people have a textbook or follow a particular course and they want to do some extra work, but they don't know what to do. Because there's nothing worse than, as I said in the blurb there somewhere, there's nothing worse than to read and reread your textbook. So I've looked at, again, lots of free online resources, but I've also given lots of ideas of what people can do on their own in order to practice more German. And yes, that could be used for any language. Doesn't have to be German, but any links I've given in there relate to German sites.
Yep, we've got that. And
there's the Wiltshire von A bis Z at the bottom.
Wiltshire von A bis Z, yeah, that's the first book.
Yeah.
And Learn German for Your Holidays.
Yeah, that's all 4 of them.
Right. Okay, I'm coming back now. If I can find the right screen, just give me a moment. And I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Right, so there we have it, the Udemy courses and the books and the private tuition, and in person and on Skype. What does come across is that you really enjoy doing this.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't want it any other way. I love the variety of teaching different ages, different levels, different people at different times, and doing all the bits about the online learning as well, and the blog writing and the book writing, and doing some translations in between as well. It's brilliant.
Right. Yeah, we've not touched on that. The translations.
No, we haven't.
I mean, you did one recently, which was an interesting project.
Yes, very interesting. It was a health and safety video. I got the English health and safety video, and so not only did I have to translate the phrases into German, I'm now really, really well versed on German health and safety, but I also had to make it fit into the video. So because especially the German language, anybody's ever compared an English book with a German book knows that the German book is about twice as thick as the English book, because the words are longer, there are more words. But of course, on a health and safety video, when somebody sits there and watches it, you can't have a huge amount of text. So I had to, the challenge was to put the correct message across, but to still make it fit the video and make it look good. And I've done that, and the client is extremely happy about it. They showed it to the German supervisors, who said it was very clear and very professional, which is really good.
And they don't normally comment.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So praise indeed, and that makes the whole job worthwhile.
Absolutely, it does.
The feedback. I mean, as you said earlier, I'm a member of your Wednesday evening group, Learning German at A-level standard, and it's a very enjoyable evening because we don't just learn by rote, do we?
No, and the good thing is because we're not doing any exams. I mean, this is one of the things I didn't like at schools either, that you had to have your topics, you have to complete certain things at a certain time, and you didn't have time for anything else. Whereas we spend a lot of time with playing games or doing other activities and watching videos or whatever, because there is no time scale. As long as we're enjoying ourselves, this is the one big thing I always say: if you don't enjoy learning German, there is not much point, really. That's not to say at students at school, I'm sorry, if you learn German at school, tough. But anybody else, if you don't enjoy it, then you won't want to do it, and you wouldn't do any work on your own either. So there has to be a fun element in there as well. Even sometimes you do have tricky times and challenging times, but even they're good as well.
True. I mean, the interaction in the group makes it special, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that everybody gets on. And what I mean, the thing is that you're learning, but you don't think you're learning, because you're actually involved in a group of people who are conversing in German, reading German, and getting to know about Germany and its history. Yeah.
And then at the end of often people look at their watch and think, oh, is that the 2 hours up already? That's
Indeed.
Amazing.
Indeed. And so I'm going to put you on the spot now. You knew I would at some point. Three reasons to learn German.
Oh.
What do you think? That's okay. Well, I give you number one, because it's useful in the European context to know a second language, isn't it? And it's got to be French or German, really, because those are the two most spoken languages.
Well, French is the favorite language for English schools, because French has always been the main foreign language. Spanish is taking on a lot because people go there on holidays, but I think German is also very, very important for business. A lot of my students learn German because they have business dealings somewhere with German companies. And so it is very useful for that. And there are some good holiday spots as well, even if you can't lie on the beach in the sun.
Indeed, indeed. Well, does anybody have a question or would like to come on air and ask a question? Please just put a 1 in the chat, and we'll take your questions and talk as well if you wish. If you want to come in for a moment. It's been a pleasure talking to you tonight. If you just give me a moment, I shall return in a second. You know what I'm going to do now, don't you?
I think I've got a.
We've really enjoyed making this video and talking about Angelika's German translation, and it's our pleasure being here tonight and to talk to you. Angelika, would you like to say good night to everybody?
Good night, everybody.
And we look forward to seeing you again, either in real life or online, and in future chats. And it really has been our pleasure, and good night.
Goodbye. Now, of course, we've got to wait for Stephen to go back into his office. I can assure those who are listening in, we don't normally talk like this.
No, it's. Hang on. Just let me put my earphones back in.
Close the door. That's better. Yes, somebody suggested that we should have those tin cans and a string, but we don't normally use online to talk either.
No, we don't. We don't. We talk normally.
Yes.
But yes, we just thought we'd do that to end the show. Well, thank you everybody for being here tonight, as we just said, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. And it's good night from myself.
And from me. Good night.
Good night.